Hi, well, good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year. Glad to have you joining us. Hope everyone had a safe, happy holiday season. And here we are again in 2026 to kick off the new year. Our first partner webinar will be on the travel guide, talking both about the current edition that has just been released as well as you got it. There's already planning taking place for 2027. So no rest for the weary, especially for Dana Grimstead. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Guy Gaster. I'm director of the North Carolina Film Office, part of VNC, but help coordinate our webinars. And again, happy to have you with us. Before we get started and turn it over to Dana, do want to remind you if you saw Newslink this morning, our weekly email, you may have noticed that our upcoming conference in Asheville in March, the early bird registration is coming up. That ends this Saturday. So once again, if you're looking to register and get that early bird rate, make sure you get it in before Saturday. And we also announced that there will be a pre-conference event the day before in Old Fort. So again, for more details, take a look at Newslink, which should have been in your inboxes this morning. Now, without further ado, I'm going to turn this over to Dana Grimstead, and she's going to talk all about the travel guide. Take it away, Dana.
Hi, everyone, and Happy New Year. As Guy said, today we're going to walk through the 2026 travel guide and talk about the upcoming partner presentation virtual roadshows. But first, we're going to dig into a little consumer insight. In 2024, we surveyed readers of the travel guide. This is an in-book survey that was performed with People Inc., the contracted publishers and printers of the travel guide. We do this every few years, and it's used to glean insights on the travel guide readers and help us plan for future guides. The objective is to investigate reader satisfaction and engagement with the official guide, including the impressions of the guide, travel plans while visiting North Carolina, factors that influence travel decisions, and the current attitudes towards travel. It was conducted from January to July 2024 as an in-book survey, asking people to follow a QR code linking to a survey. The book was polybagged during this time with Better Homes and Gardens, Midwest Living, and Real Simple magazines. It was a small sample size of 383 adults age 18 plus. So how did the survey participants engage with the guide? The majority of consumers surveyed obtained their copy of the guide as part of this magazine subscription, followed by ordering it online at visitnc.com and having it mailed to them, and then picked up at a welcome center. Some key insights. 88% of the readers surveyed have a highly positive impression of North Carolina as a travel destination after reading the guide, and 79% had a more favorable opinion about North Carolina after reading the guide. Nearly all were highly satisfied with the guide and found the content to be highly informative at 88%. There is high satisfaction across all elements of the guide, which include photography, paper quality, cover art, layout and design, storytelling and writing, and the maps. 83% found the cover of the guide to be visually appealing and helpful. 89% took action reading the guide, with nearly 2/3 saving the guide for future travel planning. The guide had positive impact on potential travel to North Carolina. 93% of those who read the guide are likely to travel to North Carolina or already have. So what are readers saying about the guide? A few of my favorite responses are, "This travel guide has introduced me to a variety of experiences. I have saved and now will budget for the upcoming warmer seasons. I'm impressed with the detail and happy to embark across North Carolina with a more open and well-informed perspective of the state." The contents made me realize how varied the state is geographically and all the attractions that are available, especially the places to hike. I was also impressed by the number of resorts and beautiful hotels. It's really helpful to see recommendations of where to eat or shop or visit for cultural exploration. These quotes go to show that readers really do love the guide and find it informative. Now let's look at some traveler habits. The travelers surveyed, of the travelers surveyed, they plan to visit North Carolina for an average of 5 days and spend an average of $2,650 on their trip to North Carolina. They're looking at a variety of vacations, nature travel, family and generational vacations, cultural enrichment travel like visiting museums, historical sites, or attending musicals and plays. Culinary travel and romantic getaway are the top 5 focuses for the trip, according to those surveyed. Historic sites and national parks are the types of activities surveyed participants are most interested in when traveling to North Carolina. And when it comes to general travel experience, nearly all NC Guide readers plan to travel for leisure frequently in the next 12 months at 89%, with the average number of leisure trips at 3. Travel guides and word of mouth are their top resources for trip planning. And scenery, weather, and affordability will drive destination choices for leisure travel. So that gives us a good perspective on readers of the 2024 travel guide. It's proof that the travel guide is a high ROI marketing tool. It shapes perception, drives visitation, and influences length of stay and spend. The content strategy continues to pay off. High scores for photography, storytelling, and design confirm that editorial quality matters. Visual inspiration and practical info works, and the guide successfully sells both emotion and utility. It has clear direction for future content and partners, and the data reinforces these priorities. Lead with nature, history, parks, and culture. Highlight discoverable, lesser-known places. Emphasize itineraries, maps, and trip planning tools. And it continues to support a strong case for print in a digital world. Despite digital growth, this audience trusts print travel guides, keeps and revisits them, shares them socially and by word of mouth. Now let's look next at the newest edition. The 2026 guide starts with a 3-page cover design showcasing the mountains, Piedmont, and coast. The lead image is the restored Bradford Denton House in Halifax in an America 250 moment. A flip of the page leads to a panoramic shot of Over Mountain Vineyards in Tryon, a winery that sits on the Over Mountain Victory National Historic Trail. And next comes a colonial Spanish Mustang on a northern Outer Banks beach. The Halifax shot is directly historical, while the other 2 show how the past adds resonance to a place. The travel guide combines deliberate and casual encounters with histories that have shaped the state. The historical conversation is continued within the interior of the guide, directing trip planners to historic sites and museums that preserve stories and artifacts. It also includes insider voices of knowledge, such as Jason Collins of the Moores Creek National Battlefield in Curry, Kevin Tafoya of Koala Arts and Crafts Mutual in Cherokee, and Aya Shabu, who leads interactive tours at the Polly Murray Center for History and Social Justice in Durham. Throughout the guide, callouts to accessibility, pet friendliness, and the outdoor NC leave no trace principles add valuable elements and insights. Across 118 pages, trip planners can align their taste for adventure, culture, and meaningful storylines, and it all reflects our brand, For Real, Visit North Carolina. Story roundups throughout the guide cover a range of possibilities, teeing off at greens, snow-covered slopes and breathtaking bike trails, a color show of blooms and floral beauty, riverside wonders, and sights from skies. Set jetters can follow cues to locations from the film-rich coast to the mountains, with an option to let New Bern resident Nicholas Sparks lead the way to some of his favorite spots. For memorable lodging, a relax and refocus feature leans into wellness. Trip planners can set their sights on luxury, or they might also consider options that reflect farmland ties. Starry Nights is the guide's glamping sampler. And for a haunting storyline, the Spooky Stays collection steers ghost hunters to inns across the state and encourages travelers to tune in to Visit NC's First and Fright podcast. A front of the book map directs travelers to the state's welcome centers, which offer free assistance, including room reservations. Listings for state agencies and local tourism centers are included near the end, along with an index of towns and cities. And a fold-out, tear-out map can be used for navigation. It's another treasure trove of travel information and inspiration. And as always, travelers can request the guide online at visitnc.com, as well as find more travel inspiration. So that's the 2026 guide. And there's not much rest for us at Visit NC. As the 2026 guide is released, we dive directly into planning for the next year. Save the date for the content roadshows. These partner pitch presentations will be held the week of February 9th. I'll be sending out an email soon that provides details as well as links to sign up for a time slot. This is your opportunity to influence Visit NC's content. I will share a list of content storylines and inspiration to help you as you share ideas and details for the 2027 content. This doesn't just go to inform the travel guide. We use this as a starting point for all content creation. Teams from J Public Relations, Luke Wire, People Inc., and Uproar, our agency contractors who produce content on our behalf, will be in attendance and use these partner presentations as inspiration for planning content. The Visit NC internal team also attends these presentations. We want to hear from you. So don't forget to mark the week of February 9th through 13th in your calendar and look for an email from me that should be going out in the next week or so with details and sign-up links. For 2027, we will be interested in these content pillars. Stories that shaped America, North Carolina's living history. Meet the locals, makers, movers, and story keepers. Immersive experiences you can only do in North Carolina. The soul of Southern food from field to gas station. Hidden gems, the stories most visitors miss. Slow travel and stewardship, calm connection and care. Trail to town adventures. The perfect night out. Sports, our culture here. Luxury that feels personal, and plan like a local. Let's dive into each of these individually. For stories that shaped America, North Carolina's living history. This is heritage anchor content. Examples are NC Civil Rights Trail, African American experiences statewide, Black history, Civil War history, and America 250 stories. An angle could be history told through places and people, pairing each site or trail with a local historian, descendant, guide, or community leader explaining why the story still matters today. Why this works is it's timely, meaningful, and highly relevant for all audiences. For Meet the Locals, makers, movers, and story keepers, this is top priority insider storytelling. Who might be involved in this? It could be a business owner, artists, farmers, chefs, outfitters, preservationists, and cultural leaders. The format might include their backstory and why here. A locals only list of their favorite places, like a coffee shop, a trail, dish, sunset, or a hidden spot. The purpose of this is insiders are woven throughout the guide to lend credibility, warmth, and practical tips. For immersive experiences you can only do in North Carolina, this is a culture forward participatory travel. Examples are agritourism like farm stays, field to fork meals, animal encounters, guided heritage walks, hands-on workshops, living history demonstrations, and behind-the-scenes tours. A hook might be experiences where travelers participate, not just observe. The soul of Southern food from field to gas station. This is culinary storytelling. It could include agritourism and farm experiences, traditional Southern dishes, chefs preserving foodways, iconic gas station eats, and any new culinary openings in 2027. As an insider angle, we might look to what locals order and why. For hidden gems, the stories most visitors miss it's a museum and heritage refresh. The angle might be one underrated artifact, room, or exhibit per destination, a moment that can't be found anywhere else. This is voices of curators, guides, archivists, and longtime volunteers. It works because it has strong differentiation and it's an easy media hook. For slow travel and stewardship, this is restorative and give back travel. Examples include forest bathing, farm mornings, soundscapes, quiet historic sites, water-based experiences, trail to town connections, trail work days, river cleanups, group hikes, or rides with local advocates. For an insider lens, you might meet the destination stewardship heroes doing the work. It's best for solo travelers, shoulder seasons, voluntourism, and conservation-focused trips. For a trail to town adventure, this is an outdoor plus community connection. It includes greenways, historic trails, paddling routes, and bike and walk friendly towns. The hook could be outdoor adventures that end at a cafe, a brewery, a music venue, or a historic main street. Plus, the most underrated outdoor experience locals love. The perfect night out. This is culture and entertainment. It includes standout dining, live music and theater, college sports vibes, arcades, escape rooms, minor league games, tailgating culture. And for an insider add-on, if you have just one night, do this is a good angle. Sports are culture here. This is rooted in place storytelling. It combines tailgating traditions, college fandoms, quirky sporting events, athlete-owned restaurants, and historic venues. And for a culinary crossover, tell us what people eat before, during, and after the game. For luxury that feels personal, this is access-driven, not price-driven. Examples might be behind-the-scenes access, private guides, one-of-a-kind stays, maker-led workshops, and custom itineraries. Include any new or renovated lodging, new attractions, or experiences. And an angle could be luxury as access, intimacy, and authenticity. Plan like a local. Utility plus insider trust. It includes how to get around, train, ferry, bike, kayak, walk, best times to go, what to pack, what visitors always get wrong, and for some PR ready add-ons, seasonal highlights, winter through fall, festivals and anniversaries, new openings in 27, and 2 to 3 compelling new headlines journalists might want to cover. So that wraps up our presentation for today. Again, please be on the lookout for an email from me on details for the pitch opportunities. And as always, please reach out to me directly for anything.
Awesome. Very good stuff, Dana. With that, go ahead. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. or the Q&A feature. As we wait for a few more of those to come in, just a quick reminder, our next webinar will be February 12th, and we will once again be doing a Visit NC 101 session. This is really geared towards folks who are either new to the tourism industry or are new to North Carolina's tourism and want to know more about what Visit NC does, who we are, what we do on a regular basis, what our programs are. So it's a great intro leading up to the conference there in March so that people are aware of who is coming on stage and talking to them about the great things going on in the state and where our tourism marketing and tourism programming is going from a state level in the new year. So please share this with any new staff members, new board members, or whoever you feel might be appropriate. We'd love to have them join. We did get a question, Dana, you might be able to assist on this. If some bulk orders have already been done for local tourism welcome centers, if you will, when do you have a rough idea when those might be sent out from the from the distribution center?
Yeah, fulfillment is normally pretty quick on that. I would give at least a month to get it to you. Guides arrived in late December, so if they were put in around that time, then they should be coming to you soon.
Okay. So if they haven't received them by, say, February 1st, maybe reach out to you or Kathy Prickett and let them know?
Absolutely.
Or let you know. All right. Wonderful on that. For the road show, I know we call it a road show, but there was a question just making sure it is virtual. Once again, is that correct?
It is virtual, yes. You'll sign up for a 15-minute time slot, and we'll give you about 7 to 10 minutes for a presentation, and then we'll allow for like 5 minutes of follow-up conversation and questions if any of that arise.
Wonderful. And Dan, I'd love for you to go into a little more because I find it fascinating. And I think each time a partner hears about it or sees it, they are surprised by it. But you alluded to it in this roadshow and with the travel guide. Where else is this information and content used? Again, can you refresh us on that? Because it's not just for this one magazine.
Yeah, exactly. It started off when we first started doing these as for specifically the travel guide, but as our content has become more integrated across web, across print, across digital and social, we use it everywhere. This is really the first touch point for partners to talk to us about what's happening in 2027. And then this goes to inform the remainder of our content for that year.
That's great. So certainly for those who have browsed on visitnc.com and also looked at the travel guide, you might notice some very similar materials there or information because it is shared there as well as through some of our social channels on that. So that's great. Very good. Just waiting. Any other questions? Go ahead and get those in. Oh, here we have one. Can you expand, Dana, or talk a little more about the slow travel pillar, if you will, that you described and maybe give a few more examples of that?
Yeah, this is travel that is restorative. It's give back travel. Um, it could be a slow morning, waking up on a farm, or something that's immersive, like a soundscape. It's quite historic sites. It might be a water-based activity like kayaking through some beautiful cypress lined trees and water areas. It also might include trail to town connections or trail work days or river cleanups. That's the kind of stewardship portion of it. And also group hikes or rides with local advocates could fall into this as well. I hope that helps.
Okay. So truly either helping give back or really stopping and smelling the roses, if you will. So, okay. Wonderful. And, I'd be remiss if I didn't say Sierra put that question in, but I think certainly a paddle down the river there and ending up at the coffee shop that's right there on the edge of downtown would probably fall into that slow travel category, it sounds like. Excellent. All right, guys. Well, I believe that's going to do it for us. As always, a copy or a recording of this webinar will be posted and accessible through our industry section at visitnc.com. So if there's anyone you want to share this with or think it might be good for them to watch, or you want to go back and review it, feel free to log on there and share that. We'll also put a copy of the PowerPoint deck on that in that industry section on the webinars page, so you can reference it. And again, be on the lookout for that email from Dana coming later this month. Excuse me, with the details on that upcoming roadshow and those pitch sessions. Until then, thanks for all that everyone does. And we hope to see you next month for Visit NC 101. And again, don't forget about early bird registration and the conference overall coming up very soon here in March. We look forward to seeing you all there. Okay, have a great day. Bye
Thank
now.
you.